Hello, this is Vulturefire, and right now I'm still on game version 6001. We're getting version 6002 very, very soon, which is another beta patch update. But I wanted to go ahead and see if I could record one more run with my kind of broken Shah'Ru deck, because I know we're getting some balance changes coming, and I wanted a chance to do as much as I could. I wanted to make sure that I had a video of Shah'Ru operating at peak efficiency. So this run we will have extra max mana, we will have extra items from the Aetherflux converter, and we have the skeleton key, which is treasure cost -1. So I may actually make some slight changes to my card pool to account for the fact that I will have that. So this deck is pretty similar to ones I have shown off in previous videos. I think the main change, I may actually swap out this Siphon card for another Plundering Focus. So I've got Virulent Strike, Reckless Chase, Execution. I've got Rummage. I think the Resolute Focus actually needs to become maybe a Siphon card. I don't think we have quite enough skills to rely on that because this deck has increasingly leaned towards having more more strikes. As far as cards in the card pool go, trying to think what cards I was thinking about changing. I've been trying Mystic Shadow Blast, which is okay. This is just another way to summon enemies. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Blood Offering is interesting. I keep considering trying it, but I just haven't yet. But it seems potentially interesting. I have Rupture Strike because now gives temporary powerful based on the amount of powerful we have. We get powerful from Shah'Ru's ability, so that seems fun. I kind of want to try Lingering Ritual. Maybe we will try that over. I think Increasing Mana is a lower value mana card. I do generally like to have 2 mana cards here, but we'll just assume that it's all going to work. Excuse me, that's all going to work out. Mana Bolt is a card that I want to try. I haven't actually gotten a chance to see it in action yet. So Mana Bolt, if you recognize the art, this used to be called Chilling Jolt, and it was applied like Shock and Frostbite. It was just a common that was kind of weird. It's common that's kind of weird and didn't necessarily do a whole ton a lot of the time. Let's see, trying to think what other cards I might want to change. As far as treasure things go, obviously we have Treasure Map. I think we also probably we want Demonic Greed. There's an argument to be made for Royal Coffers as well with the with all the other pieces that we have. But I think I would rather have. I want to try the Lingering Ritual for now. I think the Coffers would be a little too cute. I don't know that we would want more Rummages necessarily. I think I like this list. And here we go. Oh man, and we get to start with Predator gained after kill. That's a nice bonus. So as far as routing goes, I do generally like just taking events. We get 1 elite either way. I think we're just going to go 3 events and this elite. The evasion cards are very good, but they're less valuable when you're planning to win as quickly as we are. I think we want Corrupted Blast. I think that's the card we want to try and dig for. So we need to be able to afford this execution. That'll do. We can discard that. This is going to be very silly because it's just going to loop. We're going to discard a serrated, get a serrated. So fortunately we do have some shield. The first couple fights are going to be the hardest in a lot of ways because it's going to take us a couple fights to get all the pieces going. But as you can see, we are still in pretty good shape. Mana is a little bit of an issue. We do get a lot of powerful every time we get a kill though. So you saw we ended that fight with 6 powerful. Mighty Punch is pretty good, but I think we just want Hunt. Arcane Strike is also very tempting. I think we'll just start with Hunt. Card draw is kind of a weakness in the starting deck. We want to draw a lot of cards, and we don't always have great ways to do that. I will note also that Duels can be kind of annoying for us because Execute hits the first enemy, and Duels are, of course, somewhat tricky to execute because they have all that shield that makes them substantially harder targets than most things in this depth. All right, I think we're going to actually pitch this Virulent Strike because we want to keep that mana. I think we do discard the Reckless Chase. I don't think we're actually going to use it this time. All right, that actually works out nicely. We explode, but we only take 2. We still have 5 powerful left, thanks to Ancient Statuette. And we can do some damage. All right. Yeah, the deck tends to take a couple fights to get rolling, which is not too uncommon for how I build turn 1 decks. If you've seen me play Catan, you know that area 1 is usually the worst area for that deck, and then it gets much, much stronger once we have a couple upgrades and a couple epics. Not that we're in danger of losing or anything, just we aren't winning. Okay, let's pitch. I think I do actually still want to pitch this Reactive Shiv, because the Plundering Focus we should be able to turn online here. And yeah, because we have the Skeleton Key, these treasures are free. They are not normally. And we are just kind of ignoring this shot because our plan is we get an evasion stack every time we get a kill. So we should be totally fine and not really in danger of taking damage. Even if I want to play this, but I also want to be able to play out these Reactive Shivs, because the Reactive Shivs are just a lot more damage. So one of the nice things is sometimes when we trigger Poison, it won't actually trigger because of Shah'Ru's level 10. And there we get lethal. And now we can take a handful of knives and just be off to the races. Okay, Enchanted Hammer is great. You just take handful of knives plus, it's just what you do. Removals take thinking, we're just moving. So we need some card draw. Really, the piece that we would love to find is... sorry, my brain temporarily shut off. We want the card that does the stuff we want. We want... not the card we want, we want Pirate Hook. Because Pirate Hook does a lot of good work for us. Pirate Hook would let us chain kills. Pirate Hook did get nerfed this patch. It used to create 2 whatchamacallits. Now it only creates 1. 2 treasures. Now it only creates 1, but it's still very, very good. Go ahead and discard that. And now let's turn Execute on, and now we should have lethal here, I think. Yep. I do like Fey Ruse. I like having Precarious Draught. I think we're going to take the Draught for now, and we'll pick up our Ruse later. I really like Lucky Die. Lucky Die is card draw that will help us potentially smooth out some turns that otherwise might be tricky. And this gives us another Elite Fight, which is another chance at all the stuff we want. No reason not to go ahead and play this. And no reason not to go ahead and upgrade this reckless chase, I think. Alright, we will go ahead and do that so that we don't, we want all the buffs to stick if we can get them to stick. And buffs will not stick if, so this does damage before it applies a debuff, which means that if the enemy were to die to the hit, then they won't actually get the debuff. And because they don't get the debuff, it won't transfer to the next person. Like if I were to do this, this will do 4 damage, which is enough to kill, which means that this debuff wouldn't be passed on. But now we have lethal on both, and we're good. Forbidden Knowledge, there we go. I was actually just saying, this card is the card we want. Because this is kind of just the nuts. I think we could upgrade it. I think we want to upgrade either Execution or Tricky Focus first. I think we upgrade the Tricky Focus. I really like having Tricky Focus Plus. It does a lot to make games play more smoothly. This fight is an example of one where we can have issues because it's a full fight to begin with. Which means that we have to kill one of these enemies before we can get access to, before we can summon anything. Fortunately, we drew that, which means that we can now finish off this one pretty easily. And we can execute, and the bleed keeps going. And we can summon more and draw more cards. Just always fun. And so now we have a lethal ball of poison here. So there we go. I think we just take the Precarious Draught. Refresh is also good, but I think we just want Precarious Draught. Oh man, Spiked Shoulder Pads. Run is over. Spiked Shoulder Pads means that now every time we play any of our shivs, they will apply bleed. Which is, it's unreasonable. Which you will see here in a moment. So these now apply 2 bleed. So now I think we are going to pitch these. You'll notice that like that jerk is already up to 15 bleed. There we go. All right, Aerial Stratagem is interesting. So it is a combination discard outlet and AoE damage source, which is very, very good. Impaling Roots is also pretty good on this character just because we have so many debuffs that we could increase. And also Rupture Strike is a fun toy. I think I'm going to take the Rupture Strike because it's the most directly on theme, but kind of all good. I really like Rupture Strike Plus because of the cost reduction and it does more damage. I think that's worthwhile. I still don't have anything I really want to cut, so we're just going to keep moving. Let's see, what is our... Okay, so unfortunately we do not have Elemental Amalgamation, so we can't get Elemental Strike. But we can go through and pick up... I don't really care about any of those, but events or not. We may just go through events. The Treant is going to be in a more annoying fight, but I think it's worth it to pick up extra events. Because we can get an elite and a lot of events here. I think Mystic Ritual is the card we would want out of this, so that's where we're going to start. Taunt is annoying, but I think that we can make that jerk regret having taunted us. Let's see, we need We do need to do the kill in order to turn on plundering focus, which you can see that we have now done. That will do quite a lot. And now we just play literally anything and the bleed kills. So like I said, Area 1 was going to be our problem. We're out of Area 1. It's now time for the nonsense to happen. Mystic Ritual is great. That is a lot of card draw. Alright, let's see. Get a summon out. I think we are just going to have to... So the big question here is like, what do I keep? I think I'm going to play that and then pitch the others. Alright, I can discard that to draw a lot of cards. Let's get a little bit more bleed out. Okay. Trying to think what I want to do in terms of getting things going. I think I'm okay with discarding that to get additional bleed shifts. One of the questions is always with Rupture Strike, when do you use it and when do you just... Okay, so because it happened after the damage, we get the powerful after the damage, we did get the powerful for whatever. And yeah, so playing with house money, we had plenty of extra cards to go there. Lucky Die helps so much with just smoothing out our plays. I think we can afford to use Blazing Ritual, because it's generally going to be more mana than whatever. Red Drakes don't care. Oh, Chimera we will fight. We instinctively know to hide. What? Hide? From a boss fight? Why would we do that? We're not cowards. Alright, so I'm going to discard that. Start the bleeding. This will create a total of plus, yeah, that many cards. So we need to, trying to think, so we do have this, which is going to help. Because we need to, now we have a lot of temporary powerful. I don't think Execution is doing much for us at this point. Okay. And now it's time for the knives. That was a boss fight. Yeah, I want to see if Lingering Ritual ends up working here. I don't know if it will, but I'm curious. We don't have any ways to use Tormenting Gloves yet, but it does have a lot of potential because of that mana gain on status trigger. So if we pick up any ways to get elemental runes out, that is very useful. So the reason I'm not upgrading the Forbidden Knowledge is because we often end up we will often end up in a position where using Forbidden Knowledge will overfill the hand. And it can be tricky to line up actually getting all the cards out of it. I think we have to upgrade Execution so that it can get kills more consistently for us. I think we are moving on. Okay. And this is another fight where we can't actually summon yet. Oh, so I am using a hand size bug with Height of Knowledge, or not Height of Knowledge, the other HOK, Handful of Knives, which is why I am able to get to 13 cards. The bug will be fixed in the next version, but also Handful of Knives will make fewer total knives in the next version, so it evens out. We do not have any temporary powerful, which is going to make it trickier to get all of the value that we want. I think we should still be able to get through this guy this turn. Yeah, we're good. I didn't actually get to execute because it was dead. There we go. Now I get to execute. And there we go. Forbidden Rites is great. Demonic Power is also great, but we want Forbidden Rites. This item doesn't do anything for us. None of these items do anything for us. We're just going to discard. As far as upgrades go, I think I'm probably going to upgrade the Tricky Focus for extra shivs. And I think we're going to cut the Void Visions. I'm not the hugest fan of it later on in the run, once we have a few more other cards going. I would love to find a Contemplate, though. I maybe should have waited until we found that. This is another fight where, so we're just going to lose health when we discard this Forbidden Knowledge. But we're going to get cards, so can't complain too much. I mean, I could complain, but I'm not going to. There are more knives. We are going to be extremely poisoned, so we really, really want to end this fight this turn. Things will get not great for us if we can't, but I think we should be able to. And when I say I think we should be able to, I mean that I hope we'll be able to, and I have no particular reason to suspect one way or the other. This is not going to give us any powerful, but my goal here is kind of I'm trying to work towards an execution, which I believe upgrading a card should get us there. No, we still need to play one more thing. Which is unfortunate because I don't want to... Oh no, that'll kill. And then that'll summon. And we just have to deal with the fact that we need the ability to execute something. Okay, so this is not currently going to be able to summon because there's just nothing to... there's no space. We filled up the spaces again. This should get you within execution range. Okay. I wasn't certain if Lingering Ritual was going to work out, but it looks like it has. Although we won anyway. We didn't need Lingering Ritual, but we could, so we did. And yeah, we did take a little bit of damage there just from having to do a summon while we didn't have any space. Oh man, this Berserker Axe is incredibly good for us. We do not care at all about damage taken by attacks because we are not getting attacked, because that implies the existence of another turn. Trying to remember. I think it's this button. Oh no, whoops. I needed to pick the other option. I wanted to kill the, I needed to stay and observe if I wanted to beat up the Dragonfly Rider again. I pressed the wrong button, so unfortunately we are just going to have to do this fight. Right, turns that on. Just kind of trying to get things within kill range of that'll do. That'll kill. Gets us bleed shifts. We can play that. Kill you. Draw more cards. And then we can actually just pay 16 mana for a Lingering Ritual. Sure. Arcane Strike is great. This doesn't do anything for us. That doesn't do anything for us. This is functionally useless to us. Away we go. More max mana. Love it. Ideally, I would like to discard that, just for max value. I think I am just going to get mana out of the adaptative spell this turn. Okay, so we don't have any whatever, but we can do this, which is fun. And we can pitch, trying to think, this gives us +3, we are playing that, so we're going to get +1, I think we end up with enough space in hand. Let's see. Yeah, just barely. And execution will be lethal after we do that. We are up to 4 powerful, but we also have +3 damage from that other thing, which is fun. I think we pitch that. And now this will get us lots of additional damage. And at this point, it's like, why even, like, we get Lingering Ritual, but it doesn't even matter. Guess it does. We would have. We may have had victory. I think we had a victory with the Reactive Shiv either way. Another handful of knives. Don't mind if we do. This doesn't actually do anything. Well, no, it works with the Lingering Ritual, technically. Sure. Handful of knives plus. Love it. And we're moving. Okay. Fighting that one. I do like... So we get events here, so I think we are going to go right. Often I would go left just because this fight doesn't has space for us to summon, which is nice, but I think we should be good. Anyway. Alright, let's go start with that. Now let's just use this. We do need to find... a little bit of extra damage here. That'll do. I like setting up bleed on this jerk because even if we don't ever hit, the bleed don't care. Plenty of cards. And now it's just a matter of just throwing cards until the problems go away. Bite. And arms race. You cannot have my lucky die, and oh boy, you are going to immediately be ashamed of your words and deeds. So one of the nice things here is the treasures they're going to give us are going to be free, which going to go a long way towards helping out with any problems we might have with regards to finding hand space. I think this should draw me a treasure. Yep. So I was willing to do that, even though it wasn't going to do whatever. Right. Oh, that's actually just going to do damage to me. Whoops. Didn't actually get the kill. It's fine. Will draw us this plus those. Get rid of the 2-cost rummage. Get more bleeding out. These jerks are now bleeding pretty hard. Really, if anything, the problem is just finding space in hand. This will get us like 8 powerful. Yeah, 8 temporary powerful. So we are now at 16 powerful, and we just win. And we didn't get all the treasures we could have gotten because we had this slight problem called our hand was full. Secret cache theoretically is good, but I'm not totally sold. I think I'd rather just have Blazing Ritual. Creating tools is very good, but the things we have are even better. I might take it over the hammer, but I think the hammer is just a little bit... No. I like the bag of tools plus the lucky die, actually, as a way to last ditch draw a bunch of cards. Okay, so the plan here is that I'm just going to throw a whole lot of knives, and it's going to solve all of our problems. Because each knife does more damage. Because of all of that blade. There we go. Handful of knives solves problems. And then we're moving on. We also are just relatively low on cards because we have been taking so many events. This theoretically could be good, but I don't think we have any vulnerable. And both of these items are potentially pretty good. We don't have a ton of use for this Tormenting Glove still, but we get some value out of it with Arcane Strike. And we once again are just going to throw so many knives out, and they're going to solve all of our problems. Let's start by getting rid of, this one. Actually, I think I want to get rid of this one first because we will probably end up drawing cards, and I would rather not have to deal with Opportunist. Because I don't think we have quite enough damage here. Like, we're not too far off, but... Okay, that actually is a little bit awkward in terms of how that shook out, but... we can just play Ambush Trap to get the kill. From bleed. Didn't even need the lucky die. At this point, I don't even know that we need Clear Focus. I think we just take the adaptative spell because it can be card draw. And making sure that we can just keep getting more cards is kind of our biggest priority right now. Handful of knives. So we can just start setting up a whole lot of bleed. Like so. And mana. Alright, Reckless Chase can't actually summon, which is unfortunate. Alright. I think we pitched the Reckless Chase because we can't get mana out of it. Not mana, we can't get a summon out of it. And then Virulent Strike will get us close to the kill. Rummage will kill. You know, Rummage, everyone's favorite damage source. Right, and now we have space to summon if we end up finding one of our other summons. Like so. We can't quite kill it with the Execution, but now we can. And there we go. Ruinous Gamble, I think, is the pickup. I think we can justify that. I don't think we need our Vengeful Spirits to be weaker. We're not really concerned. Do you have anything else to save rerolls for? I guess here, if we could reroll for Hunter's Focus. As far as upgrades go, I think one of the adaptative spells makes a lot of sense. And then we're just going to keep moving. Okay. We need to kill this one. So one of the things we need here is that we need the ability to draw some cards. Which we fortunately had. And then we can... I think we just pitched these three, which will draw us, a bunch of other stuff. We're going to pitch the Siphon card, and then we are going to, fortunately this one is much, much weaker than the others, so it's going to die very quick. Which then gives us space to do a summon. Get a kill. We can get another kill. which will turn us up to just a lot of temporary powerful. All right, yeah, I feel like this has been the demonstration I wanted for how this deck works. Permanent Frost Rune. All right, that's actually potentially very fun. We don't really need it, but it lets us potentially get mana out of, lets us get more mana out of the other thing. Let's draw some cards. Yeah, you're going to need more of a beating before we can get any value out of execution. There's some value. Trying to think how we get to an execution lethal. That almost does it. I think... I don't know if we're even going to be able to gamble. We may just not have... We may not ever get space in hand for it. Which can be a problem. I mean, quote-unquote problem. It's hard to say it's a real problem when the issue is that we're just winning too hard. All the temporary powerful, and then things just bleed out. Just keep throwing out cards. Things are going to die. And I'll automatically swap to throwing the cards at the living target. There we go. And I don't really need another adaptive spell. Sure, reroll. Contemplate's great. I totally forgot to reroll for Hunter's Focus, but it's whatever. We get the free upgrade. We spend it on the other adaptative spell. All the value, all the time. Sure. This fight is actually easier than the double shell fight because the shell rebirth gets rid of our debuff stacks that we're trying to leverage. Okay, so our plan here is that we're going to use that to turn on adaptative spells draw mode. And then I think, I'm trying to think if we want to antics back the adaptative spell. I think we probably do. Although I could have adaptated back the handful of knives, which is probably better. But too late now. Okay. I'm trying to think what else is going to happen this turn. I think we're going to pitch that Brainstorm. Reckless Chase. This is now fully online. You're going to die. And you're going to explode, which is going to get us mana. And we get this, which lets us draw all of these cards. And I think this is lethal. Yep. Okay. More card draw. This is usually pretty good, but it's tough for us to get working. Likewise, this is going to be... We don't have anything that goes with that. Just reroll. Crushed Apple is very good normally, but we... Is it better than Bag of Tools? I don't know that it is. It might be. It's more consistent. It just guarantees we get draw cards with it, which is nice. We may cut a Brainstorm. We may cut a Rummage. We'll cut one of the Rummages. We are pretty high on card draw, so I'm willing to cut one of the Brainstorms as well, maybe. I may also be willing to cut the Siphon card. And we may not actually have the mana cards that you need at this point to hit the threshold to get additional mana. I think we don't need the Arcane Strike. That seems pretty weak right now. And then lots of energy. None of this does anything for us. see what else we can get. And we could remove a card, but we're just going to get health that does nothing, and we are going to smash. Alright, spend that on mana. Draw a bunch of cards. You're going to get back the gamble. Pitch those, I think. Get Predator. Don't quite have space in hand to draw. I maybe could have sequenced this a little bit better. I think we go ahead and gamble. So there's only actually room for one summon here. It kind of looked, because this is actually a triple wide enemy, which does make it a little bit unique. What did we just play? We played mana, so we could get more mana out of this, but we're obviously doing pretty good on mana right now. I may pitch the... I don't want to pitch this until we have space. Until we have space for a summon. I think I am going to pitch the Plundering Focus. And that should set us up to execute, which will let us really get rolling here. Okay. And we can do all of that. Even more summons. Or even more value. Alright. We are now at the point where any shivs we play would kill the front door, which we would rather not do. We'd rather not spend a shiv on that. So I think we are at the point where we are spending mana on that. And we are pretty close to this win. Yeah, our main problem here is that we actually just don't have space in hand for a handful of knives. We can do that to clear space. Did a solid 124 damage. Plus 30 bleed. And there we go. That is a turn 1 kill with Shah'Ru against Maw. Yeah, so that is... when the cards get nerfed, I guess what this video is proof of is that if I complain that any of the Shah'Ru cards are too weak, this video is proof that I'm the reason why, or part of the reason why. I am far from the only person who has been doing some crazy stuff this patch, this beta. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Toodles.